I thought the performance was very good because obviously it's a wee bit of an awkward game for us because we knew expectations were high, we knew the crowd would be out, we knew the field, we knew the conditions, and it was going to be a game where who made the mistake and who took the chance. It was always just going to be that. And we had 3 really good chances in that first half to pretty much score and then obviously control the game, but it just never came for us. And battling into that wind, I think that first half performance, even though it wasn't pretty on the eye, it set up the game to win that game. And as I said, it was very awkward. Expectations, the wind, everything, and they rolled their sleeves up, and we had 3 really good chances. They didn't have any, and we just couldn't find that first goal in that first half. But it came.
Would you say that the weather then contributed to the inability to showcase the great talent that Toronto brought in this year?
Well, I mean, the field was not really conclusive to playing any sort of football. You saw most of the attacks from both teams. The productive attacks were all from turnovers, and you know, some of the counter attacking that we did in the first half I thought was really good. We just couldn't finish it off. Of course, you know, the field's not great, but I mean, you know, that's no fault of the groundsman. It's just I blame God for that at the moment, for the winter he's given Toronto. Oh geez, don't. I don't want all the religious people after me for saying that. But they haven't had much time or they haven't had any time to fix the field. So it was always going to be like that, and it was just. I'm sorry, but well, I'm not going to apologise because it's not going to be one for the purists, that game, no matter who they played against or who we were.
When you talk about Alvaro Reyes, he's progressing, kind of an unsung guy. He certainly made a lot happen and created a lot in midfield.
Yeah, he was. You know, especially in the first half, he was very dangerous, and you know, it wasn't really his, you know, the perfect conditions for him, to tell you the truth. But when it got into his feet, he showed, you know, what a terrific player he is, and he opened them up a few times. And as I said, I think we had 3, you know, really good chances to score that goal, and that was the only nervous kind of, you know, thing about it was we just couldn't get that first one. But once we got it. In all honesty, I think that first goal was probably going to win the game for both teams.
How valuable is Michael Bradley going to be for this team this year?
Oh, I mean, it's a fairly obvious question. You know, we're still learning about Michael as well. You know, I'm still learning about Michael, and he's still learning about us. But the more you learn about the man, the more you're impressed, and we've just got to find a nice balance with him to let him showcase his strengths, and but he has this you know, incredible desire to win, which is very hard to, you know, it doesn't come around very often. And luckily we've got a few guys like that on the team now, and you can see now that there's a bit of a, you know, there's a bit of a hardness to us, to tell you the truth, that we probably have, you know, no disrespect in the past, but I don't think we've had.
Ryan, what did you make of the partnership between Gilberto and Nicole?
It was the first time they've played together, and I think you could probably tell a wee bit. You know, we tried to. One of the hard things as well was obviously the language as well. You know, Gilberto's only had about 10 days training since he's been here, kind of thing. So, so the partnership, you know, they kind of ran the same lines together a couple of times, and defensively they were in the same in the same area. Where so you know, just little things that we'll iron out, obviously, but once you saw, you know, I think you saw some of the glimpses of what he's capable of, and the run or the ball from Michael Bradley and the run to Gilberto for the goal was gorgeous. To tell you the truth, it was beautiful. It was such a weighted pass, and the touch, and then the shot was a good save, and then there was only ever going to fall to one guy, and it always does fall for him. And so.
Ryan, how comfortable are you with the ball possession of the team?
Sorry?
How comfortable are you with the ball possession of the team?
Well, again, you know, it hasn't been ideal for us to keep. Well, in saying that, to keep possession. Of course, you know, we want to keep possession, but away to Seattle, we didn't. You know, we knew we weren't going to have the ball much because on our due diligence on Seattle is they score from counterattacks. Both their goals I've scored this season have been from counterattacks. So we knew that if we stayed in our shape, we'd be hard to break down. On this field, you know, it's not really conclusive. We didn't really want to, you know, keep the ball for the sake of keeping position and cause trouble for ourselves. You know, I don't think DC broke us down very often at all. And you look at our chances that we had to score. And position's a lovely stat when you look at you know at the end of the game without taking any variables into it. But what I look at it is what you did with that position. And I think what we did with it was, you know, we could have been 2 or 3-0 up after 45 minutes and it's game over. So, you know, of course we're always trying to improve and it's something that we will get better in. But, you know, the first thing we've got to learn as a club is to win. And we'll win with 70% possession and we'll win with 30% possession.
Ryan, this is the first 2-0 start in club history. Do you think that's significant as you guys sort of enter a new era to have a little bit of history like that, even if it's small, just to kind of build some confidence and some momentum?
I think so, yeah. I think, you know, you should draw on any sort of confidence that you can gain, and that's that. But, you know, and all the players know and I know is I don't think we're, you know, a top team right now. We're very good, we're very well organised, but I don't think we've seen the best of us. And you won't see the best of us because we're still new. You know, that was the first time Gilberto and Jermaine played together. You know, again, Jonathan and Michael are still learning together. You know, all these little combinations, Jackson and Justin, Alvaro and Bloomy and even Julio at the back. They're all new and it takes time. It takes time. So we will evolve as a team, especially with the ball. But what the pleasing thing is we look solid and we're finding ways to win.
Ryan, Defoe scored again and could have had several goals today. Are you resigned, or have you been resigned to losing him to the World Cup?
You know, I mean, got to watch what I say here, because if I was Roy Hodgson, I'd pick him in a heartbeat. But from Ryan Nelsen, sure I might be probably thinking another thing. But I mean, he's such. What I'd say is that he's just over his career. He's just got a natural kind of ability to be able to do what you've seen out there today and what you saw last week. And look, he's not going to score every week. He's going to have these games as all human beings do. But yeah, if he keeps this up, you know, he's obviously putting himself. He can't do anything more, isn't he, as a striker? But we've got to help him get even better. We've got to help him. You know, we'll try and improve him in every way we can. And so if he does get that call up, like Michael, like Julio, that they're ready and they're going to represent the country.
In the past, no disrespect to some of the former strikers here, but when Toronto didn't convert on its chances, they paid for it. With him, do you always have the sense that that the next one might be going in?
I think so, yeah. I think most people do, don't you? Yeah, you know, when it falls for a player of his quality, and you'll see with Gilberto as well, you're surprised when it kind of doesn't go in. Or it might have been, again, no disrespect, but probably the other way. You're surprised it went in the past, but that's why they're at that level that they are. And what we've got to do is, when it doesn't go in, we've got to be, you know, patient and solid at the back. And that was a game that really would have been probably a banana skin for us last year, definitely. But you know, you can see the progression of Danielle Henry and Stephen and Jonathan Osorio. They're getting better and better as well. But you know, I think we've still got a long way to go as a team. We'll play better than that probably and lose games. So.
You saw Dempsey earn suspension last week. Jackson had a similar play in the 50th minute. Referee made a decision on it. Are you expecting any discipline from the league on that?
Well, I think the referee saw it and he gave him a yellow card, so it's been dealt with, isn't it? I don't think they saw Clint's one. I didn't see it. It looked pretty harmless to me, to tell you the truth, even though I haven't seen it. I just caught myself then, by the way. But what I've heard is it looked fairly harmless, and the guy tried to make the most of it.
Worry about Michael getting hit like that, Bradley, in the head? Will he go do anything to see if he's concussed or anything when those two guys clash? That's pretty hard to knock.
He's running around the locker room showing it all off to everybody at the moment. No, I don't think. I think that's just another notch on his belt. To tell you the truth, he enjoys those guys, those sort of things.
Ryan, 2 games in, we seem to be already running out of superlatives for Michael Bradley and his obvious influence. But it occurs to me that alongside him, young Jonathan Osorio has got the perfect opportunity to learn everything he needs to know about playing central midfield.
Yeah, no, you're right. But also Michael, we're learning about Michael as well. Like sometimes he's so keen and so energetic that sometimes you're telling him just to put the reins on him a wee bit, but you can't. So then he's off, and it brings us big energy. But then we've got to react on that as Jonathan Osorio's got to balance that off, and then we've got to back him up in 2s, 3s, and 4s, and so we're learning about him as well. And but you're right, a guy like Jonathan Osorio, Kyle Becker, Jeremy Hall, all the guys who aren't even playing but just watching are now seeing what it takes to play at the highest level in that central midfield role, and all for the young players, or young kids, and all the coaches that are watching from the stands. It's enjoyable to watch a player of that quality, but also same with Julio Cesar and Jermaine and Stephen Cordwell and all that. It's the reason why they played X amount of games at the highest level.
So 2 games in, when do you expect opponents to look at Toronto FC in a very different way in which this club has been viewed by opponents and opposition players over a number of years, because results will bring a different level of respect perhaps from future opponents?
I don't really care. I've really got to worry about what we're doing, and we've got a lot to improve off. As I said, we'll play a lot better than that, and we'll lose games, and we've got to get our house in order. We've got to keep improving. Every individual, all the whole team, the whole squad, everything. We've just got to worry about what we do in house, and just keep the feet on the ground. It's only 2 games, and just keep working and working and working, and trying to get better and better and better, and whatever people say outside our 4 walls, then so be it.
So we'll take one from Cahal and then that's it.
Ryan, you talked about the expectations. What did you make of the atmosphere?
Oh, just absolutely fantastic. I thought it was, even the guys are saying it was better than a lot of the atmospheres in Europe, and it was just fantastic for all the fans and everything to get out there, and it was electric. Unfortunately, the football and the field probably didn't kind of match the atmosphere in the stand, but we got a win, and hopefully they got a taste of what's hopefully will come for the rest of the season.
Ryan,
Thanks, guys.